Just let me know when, and I'll.
To KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign. KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Celebrity designer Jeff Lewis is back with Hollywood House Lift.
I'm excited to be working with new clients.
I'm not getting rid of that.
I hope I never see you both again.
An all-new season.
Those have to go. That has to go.
From oh, wow,
It's been an actual nightmare.
to oh, wow.
This is such an upgrade.
With celebrities like Josh Duhamel, Christina Ricci, and Gina Rodriguez.
Dazzle me, Jeff.
It looks like Chuck E. Cheese.
Stream an all-new season of Hollywood House Lift with Jeff Lewis, now streaming on Freevee.
I am Conor McGregor, multiple weight MMA champion. I'm a fighter and I've been through many battles in the octagon. Many consider my fights in the octagon heroic, but the real life heroes are those men and women who fight to protect us every day. The real life fighters, the real life heroes, are the firefighters and police officers. These first responders are true heroes, because these brave men and women put themselves in the line of danger every single day protecting us all. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation ensures that first responders from fire, EMS and police departments who are killed in the line of duty with young children have a home without the burden of a mortgage. They are my heroes. They need our help today. I'd like to ask you to join me in donating $11 a month to support their efforts. Your $11 a month honours and supports our first responders. Please call now at 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
It's the Dude Bro Show. Fucking A shit. Dude Bro. Dude Bro Show. Titties and beer. Titties and beer. Dude Bro Show.
show. Fucking hey, yeah. Coming at you live. Fuck yeah. All right, dude, that gets me every single time. All right, we're here, we're live, and we're working without Annette tonight. We're also working without Aggie Rican. Right now, it's me, Rick Robinson, programming director, and pretty much all-around pain in the ass here at KLR Radio. Also joined by Mr. Andrew, our toxic masculinity poll guy, as well as the host of From Your Basement. Or is it From Your Basement?
From the basement.
From the basement. Okay, anyway. I know it was in there somewhere.
Change that from your mom's basement.
I know. I was kind of sad that you decided not to go with that one.
I missed it.
All right. So anyway, we're here. We're live, and for some reason you're coming through a little choppy. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'll see if I can figure that out in a minute.
Well, I was up walking around.
Maybe that's why. All right. So anyway, we're here. We're live, and it's Friday Free for All. We're still waiting to see if we will actually have a Mickey Blowtorch sighting other than, from the intro. I mean, technically he did cameo. He didn't lie because he was in the intro. So even if he doesn't show up, he's already covered the bases because he was in the intro. He's like, hey, I was still there. You heard me. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, so if you're just joining us right now, you may be catching us on Spreaker. You may be catching us on KLRradio.com. You can always go to KLRradio.com/chat and hang out with some folks. I'll be popping in there in a second, see how many people we got piling in. We are also now streaming on Facebook Live, on X streaming, also on YouTube and Rumble. So at this point, if you can't find us, it's because you're not looking. But if you're not looking, it's not like we really blame you. I mean, there's like 8 million podcasters now. So I remember when I first started doing this like 16 years ago, nobody really knew what a podcast was yet. Now there's like 1 million of them, and I'm like sad. Anyway, so how are you, Andrew? How are things?
Oh, I'm good. Recovered from my drive. 3,600 miles in 6 days.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Oh, man. And I'm good, though. It's been a pleasant day up here. I don't know about down there. I'm hearing it's hot all over the place down there in the southwest. And I mean, I have to agree it's hot.
According to my girlfriend, I live in the Midwest anyway, so, what can I say? But anyway, it's like 86 degrees here, so I don't really consider that hot yet.
Midwest.
Yeah, because, apparently Oklahoma is not south enough for people that live below the Mason-Dixon line or something. But what do I know? Just because, we were a territory that actually fought for the South in the Civil War.
Well, it's the lack of history being taught.
Oh, this is true.
But no, it's been a scorching 73 up here today.
73. You suck.
Yep. And it's we're expecting an overnight low of like 40. I just don't know how I'm going to be able to handle all this heat.
Oh, so much fun.
Oh, but no, it's actually been good. It's been good. We had a nice drive. I brought my wife back up here, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, her sister and her husband, also rode back up with her. It was quite the trip. We had a very nice, enjoyable trip. And now I am pants, sun's out, tits out, pants off.
Anyway, I hope you're not talking about yours, because that would be kind of you. Just saying.
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
I don't have tits. I have boobs.
I was just concerned for you, sir. I was like, was there some sort of an alteration surgery that was begun during this trip, sir? Because what the hell? Anyway.
No, mine are all natural. I got them from grits and sausage gravy and biscuits.
Dude, I love me some biscuits and gravy. I don't know what it is about people that are like, that's terrible. It's like dry flour mixed with wet flour, and it's just terrible. I'm like, then you haven't had it done right. That's all I'm going to say. You haven't had it done right.
So, how you been? Busy?
Busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, but still kicking.
There you go. And, somebody's saying they can't find the stream. Should be running.
Can't find the stream. Which one? Let me... Let's figure out what's going on. Are you talking about docking on X or somebody else somewhere else?
I don't know. It's in the chat.
Okay, hang on.
Swojoho. Swoho. Not sure how he's pronouncing that one.
All right, well, we're going to check something real quick. It's going to sound weird for everybody listening along, so hang out for a second. But, Andrew, I need you to keep talking for a second.
I don't know. Alrighty then.
Okay, hang on.
So,
it's working. I just heard me come through. I just clicked on it from the chat room, so it's working.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just told him it's running live.
Yeah, they may have just... Well, again, when we finally get the transition underway to be on Live 365 all the time, and we're pretty much always on, you guys aren't going to have to worry about this kind of stuff anymore because you'll just be able to come in a couple minutes before, and it's just going to change straight to the next show. What's happening right now is Spreaker broke something, so now anytime we try to roll from show to show, the feed doesn't auto update. So if you're just joining us and trying to just click, you're going to have to make sure that, well, I guess they can't hear me anyway if they're just joining us. But if you're hearing me now, anytime you come into the chat room, especially if you're coming in after a show has already started, make sure you hit F5 or it's not going to work. Not always, especially if you've been on the site before, because sometimes it pulls from your cookies, whatever it saw last, and then it does all kinds of weird things. But that's actually one of the reasons why we're trying to get back to being able to be 24/7 always on, because then basically just people can turn us on from whenever. Plus we'll have an app and eventually be on iHeart too, so there's that.
I'm always on.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, that's different. That's different. That's different.
Oh man,
right.
Man!
So since we're kind of doing a free for all, what would you like to talk about today?
Oh, I don't know. Do we really want to talk politics?
No, that's why I said, what do you want to talk about today? Because I mean, I talk politics about 20 hours a week. I'm kind of over that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not worth it anymore. Other than the fact if we get to mock anybody. Although you did have that chew toy you played with most of the day today, I guess.
I blame Ordy for that one. It wasn't even my fault. Ordy, I guess, decided to break one of his own rules and decided to post what he was getting from X monetization. And I guess the dude was offended and started making fun of Ordy, saying it wasn't that much money, etc. So I was just like, hey, you realize that for him to make anything at all on X, he has to have like 5 million impressions in 90 days, right? Because that's a lot of work. Even if it's only $5, that's a lot of work to even qualify. And that's when he's like, well, no, I don't know anything about that because I work for a living and don't expect to make my living off of social media. I'm like, we don't make our livings off of social media either. We're just figuring out ways to make extra money, which you would probably be able to do if you weren't an ass-be asshole. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Well, when you go back and look at it, he was actually trying to pile on to Ordy about Ordy's Civil War post.
Oh, yeah, I know. But when I got in the middle of it, it was about the monetization stuff because that's the one that I saw because Ordy put out a tweet that said, I deleted that. That's something I said I was never going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then dude was like, no, you took it down because I clowned on you because you're on this platform all the time and you don't make very much money from it. And I'm like, you realize the kind of reach he has to have to make anything at all? And that's when he's like, no, because I don't pay attention to that because I work for a living. It's like, I really don't think you do. I'm just saying, I really don't think you do. I'm pretty sure you're a basement dweller or what's more likely, because dude's had an account for longer than I've had an account and is followed by less than 300 people. This is one of these accounts that gets reactivated towards the end of every election cycle just to troll. It's probably coming from either Russia, China, or some other third world hole-in-the-wall fucking country.
Well, he's somebody that we're not going to remember tomorrow.
Oh, I know. I was already over it. I told him, I rolled over and went to sleep, didn't give him a second thought. Then I woke up and checked DMs, and all of a sudden he's in there saying, "It's no wonder you've got a profile pic with glasses on," and then shows me the one that I had up first that didn't have glasses on. He's like, "Which eye are you keeping on your projects?" I'm like, bro, I'm the one that put that picture up. Why do you think I'm ashamed of it?
Well, the funny thing is he went and he went to your timeline and looked at it to find out because you didn't tag him.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, really, people?
I didn't.
Really?
I didn't tag him on purpose.
Who's obsessed?
I didn't tag him on purpose because as soon as he showed up on my feed, I was like, "You realize you just proved my entire point, right? Because you had to come find me to see that I was talking about you."
Oh, look.
But hey, it was a
5 stars is eating a chicken and beef burrito.
Nice.
Giggity. Is it a long, thick one, Zelda? She's going to scream at me, isn't she?
Probably. I give it about 20 seconds.
Nice, Rick. I don't know. Summer. What plans you got this summer besides
you mean
make KLR make more money?
Yeah, you mean besides working my ass off? Not really. Not really too much so far. Hey, I think Mickey's here now. I heard a beep.
Mickey?
Yep. We have a blowtorch sighting. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Oh, hoi.
Hey, Mickey.
Mickey's in the chat.
Should I say Mr. Blowtorch now?
The Mister.
Yeah.
What's going on, dudes?
Same stuff, different day, man. How's married life?
It is. It's the same exact as it was before we got married.
That's usually how it works. Well, hey, he's still in the honeymoon phase, dude. Let him have it.
We've been together for 5 years, and living together for probably 4 or so. No, actually, maybe almost 5. The full 5. To be honest, we shacked up during COVID, so yeah, nothing's really changed.
Andrew, you be nice. He's still in the honeymoon phase.
Okay. I don't remember the honeymoon phase.
Well, that's because you were in line at the Justice of the Peace right behind Adam and Eve. It's been a minute.
True.
Our honeymoon phase boat had sailed several years ago.
Oh no, it starts over again when you get married because everything everything feels shiny again, and then you're like, oh, everything's awesome, and then like 6 months later, you're like back to trying to stab each other. Yeah.
Actually, we've always had a pretty good relationship. I can't say that we haven't. It really, there's a lack of toxicity, thank God. We're just cool, just 2 cool people living together and just being fucking cool. That's basically it.
Dude, I have to admit, I saw you rocking the leopard print tux and I was jealous.
That was a great tux, wasn't it?
I was like, dude, I really wish when I got married the second time, I would have had the stones to wear something like that. My ex-wife would have murdered me, but I so would have done it.
My original tux was actually going to be a snakeskin, but the order got canceled because I guess the distributor didn't carry it in my Hobbit size. It was for folks that were well taller than me.
I've seen pictures of you. I didn't think you were that short, but whatever. I mean,
I'm a little under 6. I'm not short, but I'm 5'8".
I was gonna say we're about the same height, and I don't consider myself a hobbit. I'm 5'9" if I stand up straight, but it hurts to stand up straight now, so I usually measure at 5'8".
It's never really bothered me. I know a lot of people make a big deal out of height. I guess it's because my dick's big. I don't know.
I was gonna say Lorena doesn't seem to mind your helicopter, so I think you're good.
Yeah, I'm just fine. In fact, when she puts on, she's 5'8" too. When she puts on heels, though, she towers over me. So there's definitely that variance, but I don't know. It's never been an issue with me ever being a shorter person from the Shire.
You need to get some of those De Niro Cruz platform shoes, bro.
Nah,
For when
don't
she
do that shit.
for when she wears heels, so at least you guys look like you're.
Hey, I don't mind walking around with a 6 foot tall gal. It doesn't bother me none.
Oh no, it wouldn't bother me either.
Not if she's hot.
There you go. Climb that shit like a baby koala.
You're just the meme. Oh, look. Hot babe. Short, ugly dude. What the hell?
There you go.
Oh.
To make up for its personality.
There you go.
But I have a brilliant personality.
Oh, man. So you've been making some changes around here, Rick. I haven't been on the air in, I would say, close to, well, probably since December when we did our last Christmas production.
Yeah, there's been lots of changes, some equipment upgrades, starting to work on integrating video a little bit more. I'm just waiting on I ordered a green screen that was supposed to have a stand with it, and I was like, damn, I'm getting a really good deal for this. And then I figured out why I got a really good deal for it. It's just the damn screen. I'm like, that's not what the picture showed, and that's not what the description said. And they're like, well, we'll send you the stand for half price. So now I'm waiting for that to show up so I can put that behind me, because I am in a little corner of my house that has become my studio, but there's a closet right behind me, and I just would prefer to be able to put something up so I can put like ads or whatever I want to put back there, for sponsors or whatever, and kind of rotate them through. So I'm getting a green screen. But so yeah, soon enough, I'm going to be rocking the shades on the air.
There you go.
I already told everybody. I was like, when I start doing video, I'm doing it with my sunglasses on. I don't care.
That's kind of almost a throwback to some Wolfman Jack type stuff.
That's actually kind of where I got the idea from, to be honest. Because every time I ever saw that man do anything promo related, he was rocking out with some feathered hair and some sunglasses every single time.
You think about radio and you think about Wolfman Jack, and I don't think you can name somebody cooler than everything dealing with who and what he was. Right, you got guys like Howard Stern, Don Imus, all of these other big figureheads of radio, and nobody was as cool as Wolfman Jack.
No, because he was one of the ones that did it first. I mean, everybody else that came after was copying part of what he did as far as that whole movement. I think the funniest thing for me, and if I remember right, I think it was American Graffiti. He played himself in that movie, pretending he wasn't him.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm not him. He's on tape. I was like, dude, that is so you.
I love that movie, by the way. Fantastic movie. But I remember seeing it probably when I was, I don't know, for the first time, maybe 13 or 14. And I'd wanted to be a radio DJ since puberty, right? Like, this was one of the biggest dreams I'd always had since I was a kid. And I remember seeing American Graffiti and just seeing Wolfman Jack, because I had heard of him, right? I'd never seen him. This was kind of before the internet got big, so it wasn't readily available to just Google motherfuckers and shit like that. So I saw him, and I knew who it was almost instantaneously when he came on the screen watching American Graffiti for the first time. I always remember that first time seeing it. It was just something kind of special, I suppose, getting to see one of your childhood heroes like that for the first time,
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, because I didn't see American Graffiti until a lot later, but I kind of had the same thing. I mean, I remember even in third grade, there were times when a couple of friends and I would convince our third grade teacher to let us stay in the classroom and play with a tape recorder, and we were like recording radio shows or pretending to be the Chipmunks or what the fuck ever. And part of that was because of a show called WKRP in Cincinnati. I absolutely fell in love with radio, and I thought Dr. Johnny Fever was the coolest guy ever, and it was what I wanted to do. And all I ever heard from my dad is, if you ever get in radio, you're going to be being paid in T-shirts and stale pizza, because they don't make any money. And then I started trying to get into radio years later, and then I figured out my dad's pretty well right, because until you become somebody that they're willing to pay for, they're going to pay you what they think you're worth. And most of the time, if they can get you to, they'll even have you come in and fill in for free.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't pay the bills, so it's a passion project for sure. Dr. Johnny Fever, dude. outside of fiction, that definitely one of the coolest motherfuckers on the air too.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, I mean, even Casey Kasem and everybody else that kind of came up around the same time as, came up around the same time or maybe even a little bit after Wolfman, he was kind of the one that set the standard. It was kind of like Elvis Presley with rock and roll. Elvis Presley was one of the pioneers of rock and roll. He was one of the first ones to ever do it and do it to the point where it really became a thing that everybody knew that was going to be more than just a passing fad. And for me, that was always kind of Wolfman Jack. And when I figured out who Wolfman Jack was, because I mean I already knew, but I didn't see him until years later when I saw American Graffiti. And then I was like, I kind of feel like that's who the Fever character was kind of jacked from a little bit.
I want to say it was.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching WKRP when it first premiered. And I knew about Wolfman Jack growing up. I mean, we all did. And I heard him on the radio. But I never saw him until American Graffiti. But yeah, it's just, I want to say part of Fever is based off of Wolfman Jack. And I mean, Wolfman is what really got rock and roll started. With his underground radio, his guerrilla radio, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely very accurate right there. A lot of pioneers from different angles all came together at that one center point of radio and rock and roll. And I don't think any of them would have been possible without each other.
Well, I mean, and believe it or not, this is going to sound kind of weird, and I don't mean to make it self-serving, but that's kind of where I got the idea of putting together the team that we have now, because every single one of us is awesome by ourselves. Even if some of us, it took us a while to hone everything, get it all squared away and things like that. And that's one of the reasons why, again, and I know I say this pretty much every time you're on, but I want to thank you for picking up the ball when I couldn't do it for almost a year and a half, and me coming back. And without even saying anything, you had taken one of the things that I had absolutely wanted to do with this medium and made it a reality to the point where we're actually putting out usually one consistently. Some we're trying to do more, but like actual old school radio dramas. That's something that I've always wanted to do. And you picked it up and ran with it without me ever having to say anything. I don't know if anybody else ever told you that it was something that I wanted to do, if it was just also, again, something that you really, really wanted to do. But I am eternally grateful for that and for the entire team who kept this thing alive when I was trying to figure out whether I wanted to die or not.
Rick, KLRN all gave us a home during COVID. We were all stuck in marinating in our own insanities. And so when I was invited to come be on it and be a part of it, that was fantastic for me. I don't know what I would have done without the outlet. It really was a game changer for me and very necessary too, just to have something to decompress with and be creative with and put something out there into the atmosphere that wasn't fucking politically charged or COVID related. What a fucked up stupid time that was. But to have this as a home, I'm always going to be grateful for that, Rick. And so thank you from me for that opportunity. But yeah, the old time radio stuff is always been something that I've been passionate about from the very first time that I heard War of the Worlds broadcast, probably when I was, maybe 9 or 10. And being able to bring all of us together, it started off as just kind of a drunken idea. And I thought that we could just do a reading of it, drinking and cutting up and just being silly. So it accidentally was good, which started the whole thing snowballing into what do we got, like 4 or 5 now under our belt?
Yeah. I think we're sitting on number 5, but yeah, I think the funniest thing for me is you get the people that know where we came from and how we do what we do, that tune in, they absolutely love it. And then you get the people that are like expecting like a $500,000 production that are like, you guys sound like a bunch of high school kids just shooting the shit. Well, we're a little older than that, but other than that, you're pretty spot on.
The whole point has always been to have fun, and we've added production value to just some jackassery, and it's been fantastic.
But
amazingly enough, we sat around and had a bullshit session, and they had a production.
Exactly.
It's funny how that happens.
Gave birth to the other.
Well, I listen to old radio productions all the time. I'm constantly driving, and I turn on classic radio. I've got I don't know how many podcasts of old radio productions, and there's nothing like it. And then when y'all did War of the Worlds, it wasn't like the original, because the original scared a bunch of people, but I did pull a muscle laughing at some of the things, the turnips, and just you pulling a bong hit, Mickey. I mean, it's just
allegedly.
Okay, you were blowing bubbles in the soda. It was straw. I mean, it was just, it was great because it sounded like everybody was just very serious, and this is my role, but it was still one of those, yeah, we're just fucking around here. It was well balanced.
That's the beauty of radio, man. Getting to do stuff like that. We made history. It hasn't gotten big, right? It's still very concentrated, very isolated to just us. But it was a historical moment in internet radio. I had to do a bong rip. It's just perfect time.
Allegedly.
Well, they don't do them anymore.
Exactly.
They don't do them anymore.
It was so cool the way it just all came together and played out, and then gave birth to our next productions. A Christmas Carol's probably my favorite one that we've done so far. Last year, what did we do last year? Was that It's a Wonderful Life?
Last year was Miracle.
Last year was Miracle. That's right.
Yeah, last year was Miracle. Before the year before that was It's a Wonderful Life. So
we did the whole Vietnam era It's a Wonderful Life, which was one of my favorite spins on it.
Vietnam, bitches.
The Vietnam montage that we had inserted in place of the World War II newsreel montage from the original movie.
I just know it's been an incredible journey, and I couldn't, and I was telling everybody this today, and I don't know if you saw it in the green room. The Spreaker channel, the Spreaker account. Now, granted, this is partly because I downgraded because we're now paying for other stuff, but the Spreaker account just turned a profit for the month for the first time ever. Now, it's not a lot, but it basically broke even with some money left over. Now, it doesn't mean the station's making money yet, because I'd have to get a lot more money coming in to be able to do that. But that's why I write and do everything else that I do, so I can still afford to pay for all this. But the fact that alone, considering, and Ordy's in the chat right now, and he remembers what I'm about to say, because I remember the first time that when it was right after we rebranded and FUBAR was on for the first time, and they started offering monetization under this platform, because they didn't even used to have that back in the day. We actually had to go chase money, see if we could figure out a way to get it. And I remember the first time we made like 25 cents, and I'm like doing a happy dance, and now we're making like 20, sometimes 30, 40 times that much. And I'm just like, granted, it's pennies, but the pennies are starting to add up. And that's one of the reasons why, and I said this already, but Ordy posted what he made off of X for monetization last night, and he decided to take it down. Well, somebody decided to start trying to troll him about it and said, well, you just took it down because you don't make that much. And I'm like, do you realize the kind of work it takes to make anything off of X? The kind of reach you have to have? I said, I mean, hell, if I was making $5 off of X, I would tell everybody. Just be like, look, I finally did it. Now you can do it too. Let's work together. Because that's just what I do. But it's just one of those things where, find something that you love. And I say this almost every single show that I do. Find something that you love to do, even if it's only in your spare time. Because otherwise, you're going to go nuts. If all you do all day long is work at a job that you basically almost can't stand half the time and deal with paying bills and everything else, and you don't have an outlet of some kind, whether it's going out in the garage and tinkering, working on computers, doing things like this, find something that you absolutely love to do and do it, or you're going to go insane. The problem that I ran into and is during the last, I've been doing this for 16 years, so I've been doing it for almost as long as we were married. But the more I did this, the less I was the person my wife was used to me being, because I had gotten to the point where I was meek all the time, I was quiet all the time, and I didn't feel like arguing about anything. So most of the time when she said something, I was like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. And then eventually I got tired of being that way. And it's partly because of some of the changes that I had undergone from doing this, because I realized that, it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to say what you think. I grew up in a house where you couldn't do that. So for the longest time, I was what I would consider, even though I've done the whole badge and a gun thing and always, tried to stand up for people, etc., when I'm in my professional life, in my private life, I was always a peacemaker or peacekeeper, somebody that would avoid confrontation at all costs, just roll over or whatever. And then eventually the peacemaker side of me and the peacekeeper side of me started coming together when I started doing things like this. And I think that's honestly part of what she told me the last few months that we were together. So I don't recognize you anymore, and you're not somebody that I want to be with. And I'm like, well, I'm the same me I've always been, just a little bit more vocal now, so I don't really see the problem. But again, this all started with a crazy idea, and believe it or not, it was because a long time ago, she was almost never home. She was helping her dad who was sick, and then eventually her stepmom who got sick shortly after he passed away. So for almost 3 years, she was never home. So instead of doing something stupid and not playing and not spending 14 hours a day on video games, I started doing this. Because I was like, I started looking at all the time I was spending in video games and all the fake money I was making. I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure if I put my mind to it, I can probably find a way to make money on the internet. I'm just saying. And it's taken a long time. But, there have been months where I've made money, and now I actually make enough money off of writing for other people and some of the production work I do to pay most of my bills. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck, but I think that's mostly because of somebody that we're not going to talk about tonight, because we're not going to talk about politics. But anyway, I didn't necessarily mean for this to be let's fall down Rick's rabbit hole BS, but just saying, everything that you guys have done, and I don't feel like I say this enough, means the world to me, because you guys are part of the reason why we have come as far as we have. And maybe it's just hitting more because we're coming up on the anniversary of Ron's passing, but I remember countless times when when I was doing the America Off the Rails show nightly, and he was the only person in the chat room, the only one. So there were plenty of times that I was like, you know what, I don't feel like doing it tonight. And it would get to be like 20 minutes before showtime, and I hadn't put a tweet out yet. He had my phone number. He's like, hey, where's the show tweet, fucker? I'm like, don't know if I'm going to do one tonight. He's like, do I need to come kick your ass? I can find you. Do I need to come kick your ass? Don't you fucking quit. And just hell, that was probably about a year before I landed on KOKC for a while and got to play over there. That man never missed a show. That man would kick my ass if I tried to miss a show, which is why half the time you'll see people joking when I take a night off. They're like, Ron's going to be pissed. Like, well, he's probably is, but he'll get over it. But you guys and him are part of what kept me going when everything else was falling apart. And I just don't feel like I say that enough. So I just wanted to take a second to do that while Aggie's not here to tell me I should shut up now.
Well, back to my original statement, or one of my original statements early in this conversation, it was very symbiotic, right? Because you've given a lot of people a home, somewhere to be, something to look forward to, some like a rec center, a community center. You've made community is what you have. If you step back 5 feet and just look at it, right? Not just us running with an idea that you had. It's so much bigger than that, Rick. And it's very symbiotic. You gave Ron a place. You gave me a place to be a jackass and cut up and do funny shit and all kinds of wild stuff that I've done. And I've been on hiatus probably for going on 2 years now, with the exception of the Christmas productions. But it was a place for me. It was a place for us to be, a home for all of us, and it was community that you had made possible just by doing this, Rick. So, step back and look at the impact that you made with other people and everything that you had given to us unwittingly, really. I don't think you understand the impact it's made. So that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I will be honest. I probably don't see it as well as you guys do, but that's not really that uncommon. That's something else that I have kind of figured out is you don't really realize, and I said this on the afternoon show today, you don't really realize the impact that you've made on other people's lives until you're no longer here to see it. Because One of the things that set me off, and this was a friend of mine that posted this, and they were like, if you can't come see me when I'm alive, don't bother to come to my funeral when I can't see you anymore. And I'm just like, that's just wrong. I'm like, I get it. If you're mad because people don't come see you as often as you would like, or they don't call you enough, or this, that, and the other. But don't you rob them of the moment to find ways to remember you. Because they're going to meet people or maybe interact with people that know you differently than they did, and everybody's going to share stories, and then there'll be memories that they're going to be able to internalize, and it helps them remember you even better. And that's just kind of, and it's weird that you brought that up because that's kind of been on my mind a little bit lately. I don't know why. But it always seems like you don't really know the impact that you've made when you're here. And a lot of people sometimes don't even realize the impact that you've made until you're not here anymore. And that's true of people like that have been famous, like poets and authors and everybody else. And it's just true of everyday people because you just don't realize the impact they really had until there's a void where they used to be. So that means a lot because it's like I've told everybody from day one, whether I impact one person or a million, as long as I know that I'm changing somebody's life for the better, I'm never going to stop. I don't care what it takes.
And that's the philosophy that you need.
But anyway, so this was supposed to be a fun show, damn it. I don't know what happened.
Anybody got any good titties lately?
I mean, you know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if we're...
Andrew was just talking about titties, so I'm sure he's got some floating around somewhere.
So, yeah, let's
Well,
talk about...
I'm just trying. I'm trying to encourage. You know, it's summer. Sun's out, tits out. Come on.
That's what my tramp stamp says. So, speaking of tits, what did you guys think of that that portal that they had from New York City to Dublin, Ireland, where that gal showed her rack?
Can we not do that?
Do what?
Ugh. Are we talking about the one I think we're talking about, or what? Maybe I
you guys
missed
remember
something.
that gigantic portal that they made up? It was like a camera feed. Live camera feed that went from New York City to Dublin, Ireland. There was one in New York, and then there was one in Dublin. So people walking by in Dublin could see people walking by in New York simultaneously. So this was walked up to the portal thing and just pulled her tits out and flashed her rack to all the folks in Dublin. And it was all over Twitter. How could you guys not have seen this?
Apparently, I missed it. I don't know.
Holy shit.
I have not heard about that, but holy crap. So that's funny. Yeah. I've
been pretty much off Twitter for a week.
Well, I also blame the Chat Lives Matter crew because I try to avoid anything to do with boobs right now because Christy posted something and I about puked. There was a Trump supporter that just let them all fly, and then she opened her mouth and sounded like Wolfman Jack, so I'm not even sure it was she, and I'm just like, I'm done.
Hey, well,
I'm done.
Well, XE had some big old titties. I saw those.
Yeah, they were big enough that even people that tried to blur out the nipples weren't really very successful because you could still tell they were nipples.
Those were some milkers. I'll be honest with you.
But yeah, no. But no, I do have a girlfriend now, but it's long distance, so I haven't seen anything like that yet, really.
I'm rooting for you, man.
Woohoo!
It can be done.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten that far yet. Either way, going slow, man. Going slow.
Get to that digital third base.
Okay, well, somebody said it, so this is now contractually required.
All right, so somebody posted a picture of Miguel posted a picture of the actual portal itself. That's what they had in New York City and in Dublin in the chat there.
Oh,
I
nice.
want to say, yeah, I saw something about that go through my feed, but I didn't pay attention to it. But it wasn't about any titties being shown.
Oh man, she had some big ol' honkers, man. And nobody from Dublin took a picture of it because it doesn't exist. We only get the backflash of it.
Dude,
So obviously, did it happen then?
So to me, this thing looks really weird because it looks like it's a cross between a Stargate and the Oracle from Star Trek. The
Star
one,
Trek.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know if maybe that's what they were going for, but yeah, it looks. I don't know. Just like, are we trying to freak people out? Because
Tittygate. James
Tittygate.
Spader's gonna pop out and honk those fuckers.
that would be awesome.
I don't know. Thanks, JC. Appreciate that picture.
JC posted a picture of some nice lady on a beach with a seagull screaming in
And
front
she-
of her vagina.
Hey, I keep forgetting that we actually have a video feed now. I could probably torment some people with these things.
Oh, there you go.
I'll be nice though.
All those after dark pictures that Zelda sent you. Look, they're all small.
Oh snap!
You are not nice, sir.
And this surprises you how?
I didn't say I was surprised. I was just stating the obvious.
Yeah, I gotta say that the new platform that you're streaming on's got some pretty. It sounds a whole lot better than what we were doing before.
Oh yeah, that's actually part of the reason why we changed over to this one. That and some of the things that I like about this one, comparable to some of the other ones, is I can actually stream to up to 5 places at a time. And something else that's interesting, and I was hoping to get a chance to talk to you about this before, but I didn't. It is set up to where if you have I think on a free account, I think you can stream to up to 2 if I remember right. So if you have your own X account connected, when I go live, you can actually tell it to piggyback, and it will go straight to your feed too.
The future is here.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean that's why I showed you what I sent you earlier, because that's one of the reasons why we're making the changes. I mean, we have quadrupled our reach, even though we don't use cameras much yet. Most of the time, especially on the longer format shows, by the time those are done, we've usually hit anywhere between 150 to 200 actual viewers on X, which, considering it's coming through an account that only has like 1,000 followers, and I've only been really playing with it now consistently for about a week. Can't really go anywhere but up from here.
Hey, you're gonna have to give me a crash course in all of this.
Oh yeah, I will.
We're all waiting.
Well, that's just it. Because we're changing everything about how we do everything. So right now, not only are we on Spreaker like we've always been, which is currently what's tied to the website, we're now going through Restream.io, which is going out to Facebook, through Facebook Live, X, because that you can stream stuff straight to there, and YouTube and Rumble. But we're also on Live 365 right now, because that's about to be our backbone for live radio. Because we're eventually going to get to the point where I'm going to fill up as much programming as I can, and then we're just going to rerun whatever we need to in the overnights or whatever to make sure that we always stay on. Because with this platform, we will be able to put a live stream on iHeartRadio as soon as we're ready to pull the trigger.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
So Mickey, this is all just to say we need to get the next production going.
I mean,
yeah.
That's a given, though. What I really want to do is finally get a spring production done. Because, just saying.
We've got a couple in the tube that we've been wanting to do for our springtime productions. Hopefully, maybe 25 we can pull that one out. Definitely, for sure, we will be doing a Christmas production this year. Wouldn't miss that. Orty and I have been talking about migrating over all of the productions to a new channel. Our channel, the KLRN radio channel, but a new show called Mickey Blowtorch Presents.
Yeah.
And I kind of got the idea from like how Disney used to do like the World of Disney and shit like that, but it'll be me being fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, actually, the only thing that I was waiting on, and we don't even have to really worry about that anymore, was getting at least 5 in there, because that way we can at least try to submit to iHeart. Since we don't do those often enough, I don't know if iHeart would pick it up for podcasts, but pretty much everybody else will. So I actually kind of wanted to give it its own channel a while ago, or at least separate feed, so it's easier for people to find.
Right on.
But
I think that'd be pretty cool. And, we're our discography is still going to just keep on building as we go along. So
Oh, I know.
we'll have that going for us, which is nice.
Trust me, brother. In case you haven't figured it out yet, Hotel California protocol has been activated. You're stuck now.
Oh, snap. You can check out anytime you like.
But you can never leave.
Hey, as long as there's wine.
There you go.
Hey, at least every other Wednesday. Just saying. Oh, wait. Not that kind of wine. My bad.
It's good to be on the air.
Red wine is on Mondays.
Oh, that's right. They are on Mondays now. Jesus, even I'm forgetting.
You got red wine on Mondays. You got serial killer Laura on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, and
Well,
also
yeah. Now Fubar's
Lordy.
back on alternating Wednesdays. So yeah, you're right. I had a brain fart. They're rare, but they do happen.
Oh, wasn't Fubar back yesterday or the day before?
Yeah. Their first time back was this past Wednesday, and they're gonna do every other Wednesday.
Very nice.
So getting the whole family back together, which is another reason why I was glad you decided to hop on tonight, because it's been a while.
Yeah, I was just thinking actually a few days ago that it'd be nice to do some impromptu radio if all of the planets aligned there, and it looks like it did today. So thank you for the invite. It's good to be on the air. It's been a long time,
welcome, my friend. Yeah, I mean it has been. I mean the last time I think was a dude bro, and when and I know she was just being funny, but when Aggie saw that I had posted on the dude bro that we did together that you were going to be on there, she was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, my sweet Aggie.
Like,
and thank you for taking the reins on He Said, She Said, by the way.
Oh.
That was Aggie and I's little flagship show that we put together during COVID, and my first show with KLRN. And I had to take that sabbatical because of work. So you've really taken off and ran with that on Friday nights.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to let it die. I mean, I'm trying to, like I say, pretty much every time I'm closing the show, I'm keeping your seat warm. I just can't do the helicopter as well as you.
And just think, we now have video feeds, so Mickey can do it for us.
There you go.
Oh,
my big swinging dick.
I feel like I need a striptease sound effect or something right now. I don't have one yet. I'm gonna fix that though. Oh,
how's everything with Juxtaposition?
Well, actually, Ordy's work schedule has been kicking our ass, but we're hoping to get back to running things again Saturday. We're actually trying to go every other Saturday to 2 hours because there's been so many times we've had to split shows up. And then it'll be time to do it again. And he's like, I gotta be at work at 4:00 in the morning. I can't do it. Or I'll be sick, which honestly, since I do this now, I don't get as sick as I used to. I think a lot of my shit was stress. I think my previous job was killing me, and I just didn't realize how badly it was killing me until I wasn't there anymore.
Stress will fuck you up, man.
Dude, I'm telling you. Nobody really takes that into account for anything. But if you are if you're undergoing a lot of stress can kill you.
100%. You know, that's the biggest reason I left the radio shows is because of all of the stress I've been under with work. My job is just fucking horrible. I hate everything about my job. It's the worst. And I needed something to do with the stress. You know, the reason I'm not on the air is just because I'm not in the mood to be on the air, right? I want to be happy. I want to be in a good place so that I can be organically entertaining and funny. I don't want it to force it and be contrived and try to entertain when I'm not in that kind of a mood. So that's why I've stepped back a little. But just for the stress alone, I started doing yoga, man, and it has really changed things for me and leveled that playing field. I absolutely love doing yoga. I look forward to it. Lorena and I have been doing it 2 times a night or 2 times a week, and it's been amazing. Just for the help of I don't know what it's doing. Right, there's obviously something connected to where whether it's like the mental aspect of the meditation part of it, or just maybe the physical exercise of doing what you do in yoga, because it's not a very sedentary type activity.
It's both,
but it's really helped, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with yoga is it's actually both. When you do it right, you get centered because, you know, you're meditating a little bit, clearing your mind, getting rid of all the crap that's swirling around in there, and you're also getting a decent workout in. And let's face it, you and I both know most of the reason this is working out so well is you get to check out Lorena in yoga pants. Don't lie.
Oh man, speaking of yoga pants, let's just say I'm the only dude in this class for the most part, and holy shit. It's like staring at the sun, brother. You have to take fleeting glances. I am so scared of getting kicked out of that motherfucker for locking eyes with somebody's fucking snatch in my face. It's glorious. So I love going to it.
And you're wearing very baggy pants.
I wear basketball shorts and Budweiser T-shirts. I look like a complete asshole in yoga.
Well, I mean, it's probably a good thing that you're wearing those because otherwise, just saying.
I need to bring a sweatshirt to wrap around my fucking waist and a trapper keeper. I'll tell you what, man. Holy shit. And I don't know if she's doing this shit on purpose, but the instructor is she's very healthy, okay? This fucking broad is a brick shit house. And she just pours out of the fucking tank top. Every time she's going to demonstrate some shit, she gets directly in fucking front of me, and her fucking tits just fucking pour out like a waterfall, punching me in the fucking face, and I can feel fucking Lorena's eyes just burning a fucking hole in the side of my head as I'm pretending that none of this is even happening. It's hilarious. I can't describe how the shit that I've seen in that class is. I wish you guys could be there with me.
You need to sneak a camera in. We can make TikTok shorts and make a fortune.
And hey, if I can real quick, I want to give a shout out to one of my old longtime friends that I see in the chat room there. Buck has joined us. He's been listening off and on to KLRN for several years now. It's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for coming, Buck.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out,
We got
man.
all sorts.
But yeah, man.
Got quite a mess.
Fucking
14 people in chat right now.
Yeah. Regular fucking party tonight.
Everybody's got the beer. Now they need the titties.
Someone's going to stand clean up.
Oh, words getting out that Mickey's on. They're all showing up for the helicopter at the end.
Well, I mean, we've got cleanup covered, my dude. Andrew's the little man on the totem pole. He's the one that started the show, the most recent that's actually with us. So he'll be the one cleaning things up tonight.
And Andrew, how funny was it the other day that you put out those tweets of all of the television shows that people on Twitter reminded you of? And I got Magnum PI, which was fucking awesome. Thank you for that compliment. And apparently my boss thinks the same thing you do, because for a wedding present, he got me the complete boxed set of Magnum PI.
Oh, that's awesome.
Little Hot Wheel of the Ferrari.
That's cool.
It was badass. That was the best wedding present I got out of all the wedding presents.
I will say that while I know I don't fit the Tom Selleck coolness, only one of us on this podcast has actually been a PI, as far as I know. Just saying.
Hey, you're halfway there, bud. Let's get you some nut hugger shorts, man. Let's go the distance.
Oh, let's not. I'm too old for those. That would hurt now.
So I actually bought a pair of UDT shorts the other day on Amazon, and they've been sitting in my closet. I haven't put them on yet, but I've been looking down at my pasty fucking white legs and been too terrified to put them on. But I've got them. They're there. They're waiting.
That is awesome. So,
well, I went with Magnum for you, Mickey, because it was like, okay, Mickey, Mickey's this party guy in a party land, and I just picture you with this mustache and that sly look that he always got. Right when he would look towards the camera and just kind of raise his eyebrow or something.
Yeah.
And it just seemed right that it's like, yep, he's this guy, not a care in the world, except, oh, I need to go help somebody. Go do it. Then I'm back to drinking and having a party. Mickey shit.
I think you're in the ballpark with it, man. You're onto something there. I got the full beard, though. Instead of a Ferrari, I'm rolling around in a Corvette, but, I mean, those oranges.
it doesn't matter.
It is red.
It is red. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that your boss gave you that for your wedding gift.
I couldn't believe the coincidence of it all, because that was less than a week ago that you tweeted that out, and that's what I get for my boss for the wedding gift, the full Magnum.
Yeah.
I've been watching the episodes. That show is just so fucking cool. It still holds up. It's still awesome. It's always going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, Tom Selleck is probably one of my favorite current actors because, I don't know, he's just always just had this air of awesomeness. I mean, everything that he's done has been fun to watch, whether he's trying to do a more serious role, whether he's doing like the whole 3 Minute a Baby thing. He's just been a joy to watch. I mean, one of the things that's made me the most sad as far as current TV is finding out that Blue Bloods is halfway through its final season. That show's been on for forever. And with as long as they were running it, I kept waiting for them to, eventually just keep putting Jamie up through the ranks, and then one day he's just gonna replace his dad, and that would be the end of the show. Now I'm sad that we're not gonna get there. And I'm like, that's how that show should have ended, you bastards.
My mother-in-law loves that show. She's got the biggest crush on Tom Selleck.
I mean, in a lot of ways, some of what he says reminds me of my dad. So I think that's one of the reasons why I've always kind of dug him. But yeah, I mean, and I know a lot of people have kind of gotten turned off of that show because like last few seasons have gone a little bit more towards the woke side. But so far this season, they seem like they're trying to rein that back in a little bit more. I will admit, I prematurely got pissed off because I guess CBS was promoting the mid-season finale as the actual series finale, and it ended just like any other show. And I'm like, what the fuck? Supposed to be the end of this thing, and y'all just let it end like that? And then it turns out that there's like another 10 episodes or something that are coming back in May or whatever, or not May, but I don't even know when it comes back, but here in probably I think another couple months. But I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. To me, like I said, he's just always been cool. I've liked everything that he's ever been in.
Really, I can't think of a shitty Tom Selleck role at all. Like, remember Runaway about the robots? How fucking cool was that?
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
I remember when I saw Ike, though, or I think that's what it was called, the movie about Eisenhower. And I remember watching this movie. I just walked in the middle of it. I think I was on deployment, actually, up in the Persian Gulf when I had seen this. And I had walked into the division space where we were at, and it was playing. And I sat and I was just watching with everybody. And I was like, who is this guy? He's so fucking familiar. I recognize that voice. It was fucking Tom Selleck. I didn't recognize him because it was the first time I'd ever seen him without his mustache. And it was very troubling to see Tom Selleck without his mustache.
Well, I remember Quigley Down Under.
Yeah.
When it came out, and I'm like, Magnum? How's he going to play a cowboy?
The mustache,
right?
He pulled it off, though.
I just couldn't picture him, right? You know how hard it's hard to see an actor somewhere else when you're used to seeing them doing one thing.
Yeah.
And when he did Quigley, it was just like, oh, this is freaking awesome. I thought that was, to me, that's his best performance ever. And yes, a lot of that's probably the writing and the way it was filmed and edited, but still, he sold me on that. Every time I see that Tom Selleck's on some type of Western somewhere, I make sure I try to see it.
Yeah, and honestly, Quigley probably ended up being one of the best top 10 Westerns.
Well, yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, and part of that's because for the longest time they weren't really making Westerns anymore, and I don't even really know why, but they weren't. And I think his was one of the ones that started trying to relaunch that genre again, because shortly after that is when they actually started doing them again. Because if I remember right, it was Quigley first, and then there was, I'm trying to think of the next one that came out. I think it was Tombstone, I think was the next one after that. And that was even a few years later.
Wasn't Quigley in the 80s? Tombstone came out in the 90s.
Yeah, but I think I guess you're right. I guess Quigley was, late 80s, and I think Tombstone may have been early 90s.
Yeah, Tombstone was early 90s. But, honestly, the Western genre really got beat into the dirt in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Even when Hollywood slowed down, they really picked up the pace with all the spaghetti Westerns. And,
Oh yeah, well that's what made Clint Eastwood.
yeah, one Western after the other. I think the market was so saturated. By the time we rolled into the 80s, everybody was kind of sick of it. But it was still there, still a viable genre. And we saw kind of the life rebreathed into it with like Quigley. And then, of course, their Young Guns was probably a biggie that brought back a lot of the dying death rattle of the genre, I would say. And even like present day, we rolled into the 90s, really didn't have a whole lot of Westerns. We had Unforgiven. You almost count them all on one hand, right? Young Guns is actually 80s, I believe.
Young Guns was 88. Quigley was actually 90 because I just looked it up.
Quigley was 90?
Yep.
Okay, well, close enough to the 80s. And then, moving forward into like the 2000s, they did that reboot of 310 to Yuma. Of course, we had Tombstone and all that stuff. So there's definitely some Western gems that came out, but it's just not, I don't think it's as popular as it was back in the 50s and 60s when almost every other show, every other movie was a Western.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's just like the two places that you recognize Lauren Green the most if you were born in late 70s, early 80s is either from Bonanza reruns or Battlestar Galactica reruns. And sometimes if you're like me, you recognize them from both. But yeah, just to kind of give everybody a better idea of the time frame, Young Guns was first, so I guess it was probably the one that maybe started trying to re-inspire the genre a little bit more. And then Quigley was 90, and then Tombstone was 93. So they were kind of close together. So.
And then, of course, Young Guns was just fucking awesome, right?
Yeah.
You had your Brat Pack and that, and Bon Jovi on the soundtrack. It was a cool movie. In fact, every time I see that on television, I will stop and watch it. Just quote along with it during all of the parts. I love when they're tripping balls on peyote. It's probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Gee, can't imagine why. Oh wait, but.
Then, honestly, the area I'm from has got a lot of Billy the Kid history, too. I don't live too far away from the Butterfield Trail, which was a stagecoach trail where William Bonney had been up and down. There's actually a little town outside of El Paso called San Elizario where there's a jail cell that he was actually an occupant of for a brief moment of time. I've been to that place. So it's kind of cool. There's definitely some tie-ins to the area that I'm from.
No, well, that is pretty cool.
Well, you got well, I love traveling to see the history of different areas because it's just awesome down in that area. In fact, because there's so much of that down there that was in the movies, right? Growing up, watching the Westerns, there were Albuquerque, El Paso. All of that was in the movies.
Yeah.
And the other, what's the other? There was another Western, Lone Riders, which was a big ensemble Western that came out, I want to say in the 90s.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
Riders.
That was 1980.
I may be saying the name wrong.
You talking about the Long Riders?
Long Riders.
Yeah, that was 1980. It had actually had David Carradine, Keith Carradine, and Robert Carradine all in the movie. That's kind of why I remember that one, because it had the Kung Fu dude in it, and then I realized that there were a lot of other people that he was related to that was in that too.
A whole lot of autoerotic asphyxiation.
So yeah, David Carradine played Cole Younger, Keith Carradine played Jim Younger, Robert Carradine played Bob Younger, James Keach played Jesse James, Stacy Keach played Frank James, and Dennis Quaid played Ed Miller. That was actually one of the only 80s Westerns my grandpa actually liked. My grandpa loved Westerns. Like, he always had them on. But it was always like the older school stuff. And then I spent a weekend with him once and he was watching that one. So that one always kind of stuck with me. But yeah, I always thought it was cool that they had like actual related people playing the brothers.
That is kind of neat.
Well, it's really a great movie. I think The Long Riders and then also Silverado.
Yeah, I actually may watch that one. Let's see, where can you watch that one? So it's available on Prime Video, Xfinity. Apparently, you can watch it on Pluto TV, iTV, and Apple TV and Google Play have it for rental. But I may have to check that one. It's been a long time since I've watched that movie. I may actually watch that.
So Silverado came out in '85, and it was really good. That one had that was a early Kevin Costner movie.
That was on TV about 2 years ago. And I remember watching about the first quarter of it, trying to figure out what the hell movie it was.
Yeah, that one came out in '85.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the.
Because it has Scott Glenn in it.
Yeah, it's one of the rare times. Actually, I think it might be the only time that I ever remember seeing Kevin Kline, Scott Glenn, and Kevin Costner on the same screen.
That's right. I forgot that Klein was in it too.
Yep. Rosanna Arquette was in it. Just saying.
Right before Pulp Fiction.
Just saying.
You know what,
John?
I think Kevin Costner plays a pretty good cowboy too. I really enjoyed those the movies he did with Robert Duvall, and what was that? He was on Broken Trail and one other that I thought he did really well in.
Well, I will say he plays a cowboy a lot better than he plays Robin Hood.
I forgot about that movie.
I didn't.
Or a Man with Gills.
Waterworld, nice.
Oh,
or the post-apocalyptic Postman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was good in The Untouchables.
You want to talk about somebody that has had a mixed bag of a career? You've got that man, because he'll put out some movies that are awesome, and then they'll put out some that are just like, what the fuck were you thinking? But I think he and Nicolas Cage have a lot in common, because if you wave money in front of them, they'll do it. They don't give a fuck.
You know, that's a great parallel that you just made there, and you blew my mind with it. But you're absolutely right. What a mixed bag. But he's jumped every shark, right? Every studio bomb that he's done, he's made it through and powered through, and because he redeems himself with other movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because he actually is a good actor. But there's time, and I think sometimes that is, I think, what leads them to take on these roles that they probably wouldn't take on otherwise, is because they know how good of an actor they are, so they think that they can, make it better. And I mean, even Robin Hood, even making fun of it now, I actually enjoyed the flick at the time. It was a little annoying, guy in the middle of Britain talking with an American accent was something that just kind of drove me nuts through the whole movie. But the movie itself wasn't terrible. And that's like Nicolas Cage, who has basically, again, jumped pretty much every possible shark that you can. And then embrace the fact that every time that man is ever in a movie, a reviewer says Nicolas Cage was playing Nicolas Cage playing this character again. He embraced that by doing a movie about himself. And that absolutely amazed me when he did that, because I was like, I don't know very many people in Hollywood anymore that are that self-aware of how they are seen to where they're just going to say, fuck it, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to do a movie where I play myself. Unless they're just somebody that's absolutely like amazingly well-known and they're cameoing in a movie. I don't remember the last time I saw that. I've never seen Burt Reynolds play Burt Reynolds unless he was cameoing. I've never seen Dom DeLuise play Dom DeLuise unless he was cameoing. They've always played other characters. This man played in it. Was
going in order of Cannonball Run.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But no, I've never seen anyone play be like the lead character in an entire movie playing with a movie about them playing themselves before. I don't think I've ever seen that. And that was just what I mean. And And again, Nicolas Cage is another one where there's some movies where he knocks them out of the park, and then there's some movies when you were like, how fucking high were you when you signed this contract? But
it's so true, man.
But I don't know, dude.
All right.
I'm like looking up all kinds of
All
westerns.
right,
I
I'm going
haven't
to
seen
send you.
forever now.
I'm going to send you a way back one here.
Oh,
Remember the Western that Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in?
wait, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in a western. I remember it being in Conan. I don't. Wait, is there another western I haven't seen? What the hell?
It had Kirk Douglas, Foster Brooks, Ann Margaret, Ruth Buzzy, Mel Tillis, and Paul Lynde.
What?
Get on the horse.
Get to the horse.
Well, Arnold didn't have a lot of lines in the movie.
Well, I mean, that's not surprising.
It was in 1979.
That was back when they were still trying to get him to speak regular English.
The Villain
He never succeeded.
was the name of the movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I never knew that Arnold was in a Western. That's hilarious.
So yeah, I'm clicking on a link right now that shows Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and if that one is on here, it is so far down that I haven't seen it yet.
1979.
Because I mean, I'm looking like the first one that comes up, of course, Terminator 2, Predator. So I mean, it's going all the way back to '84, and it's not it doesn't even have Western as a genre. It's got action, comedy, documentary, thriller, adventure, and science fiction. So apparently, he's trying to memory hole that one.
Well, you had Commando, Red Sonja, Terminator, Destroyer, Barbarian, the James Mansfield Story, Scavenger Hunt, and then The Villain in 1979.
Yeah, that's not that's weird because that's not even showing up. I mean, there are a couple that I didn't know. Like apparently he did some sort of. It looks like it might have been like a direct to DVD or direct to, I guess maybe even maybe VHS. 1994.
Betamax.
Hour and 37-minute long movie called Beretta Island that I don't think I've ever seen. An Interpol agent entangles with drug traffickers after coming out of retirement to solve his friend's murder. I don't think I've seen that one either. But yeah, I'm looking at what I thought was his entire discography, and it's not there. It's just weird. Let's see if it listed on his Wikipedia page.
Well, I just posted a Wikipedia page for the film in the chat.
Well, apparently he was in Hercules in New York.
Yep, that was in 1969.
Showing 1970. The Long Goodbye, 1973, played a role in Hood in Augustine Teen's office. It was an uncredited cameo. 75, Stay Hungry, played Joe Santo. And there it is, 1979, The Villain, played the handsome stranger.
I'm the handsome stranger.
I am here. Never mind. Dude, there's like a whole bunch of Schwarzenegger roles I didn't know about. Because I had no idea. I don't remember. Well, I mean, granted, that was 3 years before I was born, but I never, I guess, saw the Hercules in New York movie.
That sounds so hideous. It sounds like some Mystery Science Theater 3000 stuff.
Oh, it was not the greatest. It's a comedy, all right. It's not really a great Western.
Did it have the same plot as Crocodile Dundee 2?
No.
So according to the little bit of an overview it says it's a 1979 Metro Color Western comedy film directed by Hal Needham and starring Kirk Douglas, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ann Margaret, Paul Lynde, Foster Brooks, and looks like Strother Martin, Ruth Buzz, Jack Elam. It had Mel Tillis in it, and it's a parody of Western films. And for some reason, it's not letting me get to the rest of it. But anyway.
It says, blended with the homage of Warner Brothers cartoon Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Speaking of which, for everybody that ever grew up watching those cartoons, you realize our entire childhood was a lie, right?
Yeah.
Because the Roadrunner can only run like 20 mile an hour. A Coyote can run like 40. That thing would have been dead in like 5 minutes. I'm just saying.
I saw one last week.
What, a Roadrunner or a Coyote?
Yeah, Roadrunner, man. I once in a great while, I'll see one cruising down the road.
Yeah, we get them around here all the time. I couldn't. The funniest thing was, with the first time I ever saw one, my dad's like, "Oh, look, it's a Roadrunner," and I'm looking for like the big ass fucking cartoon bird. So I'm like looking way up high, and he's like, "No, kid, look lower." A little bitty fucking bird. I'm like, "That's not a Roadrunner." He's like, "Just that's a cartoon, fucker."
My biggest complaint is the fact that Acme is not a real company.
That was
I
disappointing.
know, right? Yeah, no.
But they did bring all of that cartoon logic and physics back with Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, that was a fun movie.
Yes.
I remember that when I was a kid.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Oh, was I the only one that had like a crush on Jessica Rabbit? I know she's a cartoon character, but I still kind of had a crush on her. I'm not even gonna
I think
lie.
everybody did.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's kind of standard.
I just,
I wasn't a kid.
I kind of felt weird about it. Well, dude, you haven't been a kid since God said, "Let there be light." So,
Just saying. You said it as a kid.
anyway,
Remember, she's not a bad girl. She's just drawn that way.
nice.
Boy, if I had a pencil.
Woo!
It's been a lot of fun being with you guys on the air tonight.
Yeah, believe it or not, we're almost to the end of the road.
It goes
I'm
by
glad you joined us, Mickey.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, I
Been
mean, it seems weird enough that I've basically, taken over He Said, She Said. So anytime we do a Dude Bro, I at least try to toss you an invite because it doesn't feel right to do it without you here.
I missed the very beginning. Did you guys play the ultimate fucking radio jingle?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean this
Yeah.
one? It's the Dude Bro Show. Fucking hey shit. That was actually a joke that Andrew and I were saying is like, since I played this intro, he could get out of it because all he said he was doing was a cameo, and technically he did in the intro.
You're going to be my new lawyer, Andrew.
No, that was me.
Oh, you're on retainer, pal.
I prefer Twinkies.
I recorded that song in one take. It was all friggin' ad-libbed.
That's awesome, but doesn't really surprise me though either. But it's just funny, and it's so you. You are my spirit animal in a lot of ways. I wish I was as laid back as you are, because I'm just not. I try to be, but I'm just not. It's like like I said earlier, when I saw you rocking the cheetah print tux, I was like, I so would have done that at my second wedding if I wasn't afraid I would have gotten stabbed before I ever made it to the preacher.
Oh man, it was awesome. My wife, I heard I can't remember who it was, but she asked her. So somebody asked her. They said, "Why do you let him do these things?" And she said, "There's absolutely nothing that'll stop him from doing whatever he wants to do." So I just roll with it.
Well, I mean, and this goes back to something that I've tried to explain to everybody for a long time, and I guess it's something that I got wrong in both of my marriages. If you're claiming to love someone, that means you love them for who they are. So this whole idea that people get with people because, oh, I can change them or I can make them better, or no, because eventually you're going to resent them or they're going to resent you. Find somebody that you click with and just enjoy it.
That's what it's all about. You got to find your brand of crazy, right? And just roll with that. You don't want a fixer-upper. You don't want to be that proverbial Captain Save-A-Ho. Women, you don't want a fixer-upper. You want to have somebody that's going to roll with your silly zaniness, for better or for worse. And that's what you look for. You don't look for anything that you got to force. It's never going to work.
But yeah, and that's something that I started, because the biggest thing is, with as long as my ex-wife and I were together, everybody in my family was like feeling the aftershocks when she left. So like even my nieces were like, we don't know if we're ever going to find anybody, because if you guys can't make it, what the hell are we supposed to do? And the funny thing is, I told both of them separately the same thing that you just said. All you really need to do when you're trying to, build a life with somebody is make sure you find somebody that fits whatever your brand of crazy is, so that you guys can vibe and just chill and do whatever you're going to do. Because otherwise, it's going to be a lot of work. And I'm not saying relationships aren't going to be work, because there are going to be days where they are. But as long as you've got a foundation, and as long as you know that, hey, this person is like this and they're not going to change, and this person is like this and they're not going to change, and I'm not going to try to change them, we're just going to come together and be better together, then you're probably going to be fine. And I think we've lost so much of that in this country and worldwide now, because, used to, you got with somebody, and even if it was bad, you figured out how to make it work because that was your person. But now you've got social media, so everybody's got 20 guys in waiting in their DMs. So, he pissed me off, so let me go talk to these other 19. No. Just no. Anyway. Not trying to preach tonight either, so.
We've had a kind of a well-rounded show this evening. It's gone down several rabbit holes that we inadvertently stepped in, but I thought it was a very fun, enjoyable show to do with you guys tonight.
All right, so since we are just about out of time, even though it is your own show, why don't you tell folks where they can find you, my dude?
Well, you guys can just find me meandering on the wonderful world of Twitter. I guess it's now called X. And that's at Mickey Blowtorch. Join me there and tune in for my zany life antics as I just kind of live life and do my own fucking thing.
As he shares with X that he is Mickey doing Mickey shit all the time.
He's several people's hero.
Yeah, I live vicariously through you all the time. I'm not even going to lie about it. All right, Andrew, where can folks find you, my dude?
You can find me on Twitter or X. I have a hard time calling it Zitter or X, whatever. I'm at a Nuke MM1 retired, pretty much there, and I'm here whenever Rick needs somebody to fill in. And yes, I know I can't do fart noises because Orty's got those patented now. And I also do a show at the end of the month with G, Orty, Rick, the incomparable Miss Aggie, or Latinx. She's going to stab me, isn't she? Last Wednesday every month, doing Toxic Masculinity, where we get toxic. We have babes of the month. We have a babe on. We have drinks, and I do polls, or I show polls, or
dance polls.
Dance on polls. I'm not sure.
He dances on poles while showing his pole. That's pretty much how that works.
A lot of polls.
It's polls.
Yeah, anyway. All right. So as far as me, folks, you can find me tomorrow night, I think, doing Juxtaposition with Ordnance J. Packard starting 10 p.m. Eastern. Sunday night, I will be here again doing America Off the Rails, 10 p.m. Eastern. Monday, I am off. It is my one day off a month where I don't do anything because I have appointments and errands and stuff that I have to run. Starting Tuesday, I'll be back doing the Rick Robinson Show, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Almost gave myself an extra hour there. That is usually Monday through Fridays, except for one Monday of the month. This month, it's coming up Monday after this one. It'll go to the first Monday of the month. When I'm not doing that, I'm usually producing for somebody, and you can find most of the shows on the calendar because I don't really feel like reading through them all tonight. You can also follow along with me on Twitchy, Misfits Politics, and the Loftus Party websites, and I also am the executive producer of the Loftus Party podcast, which drops on Tuesdays. And if you need more of me than that, and let's face it, if you do, you need therapy, you can always follow along with me on social media on most platforms as at RowdyRick73. But on that note, we're going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And again, Mickey, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence on your own show.
It's the
fucking A shit. Dude, bro.